Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shya.
And this episode
is called
The Movie Called Your Life. Sounds dramatic.
It does. Movies are usually dramatic.
Well, it could be a comedy.
A lot of people's lives are.
It could be a noir film full of mystery and all in black and white. No? No, okay. I don't think so.
Okay, I like color.
Me too.
Ever find yourself trying to figure out how the future is going to turn out?
Sometimes.
Does it work?
Nope. It just occupies this moment thinking about the future.
Right.
But the future never shows up the way I actually envision it. It's always very different. It's unique and rich when you're here for it.
Yes. You're expecting me to say something.
I am. What would you like to talk about? The director of your life, Mr. Music Man?
The possibility of discovering your life newly in each moment. How's that?
Okay.
You know, it's interesting. I was out on the river this morning, practicing casting a long rod, a 14-foot rod, fly rod. And I would tell myself in English, which is what language I speak, the only language, slow down, you're going too fast. And then the next moment, I'd go just as fast as I did the last time. So telling yourself what a better you would be doesn't seem to produce a better you.
So I'm assuming that at some point over the time that you were out there, you actually did slow down.
This is true.
So how did that happen?
Well, what I did was I reeled in a lot of line.
Okay.
So I wasn't trying to cast far.
Okay.
And so then I could just put my attention on the movement of my arms and body as I made the cast. And it was effortless and easy. And it went as far as the line let it go. And then I added line to it eventually.
So when you started, do you think putting that much line, was you trying to get somewhere like a long cast?
Absolutely. So if you're trying to get somewhere, you're saying how you are in this moment isn't really enough, isn't perfect.
And at the same time, you can
I made some perfectly bad casts.
But I was thinking, clearly you're out there practicing because you're desirous of having your skill set improve, or at very least be as good as you could do it.
Well, actually, I was testing out new fly lines as well to see what would work best with each rod.
Well, I know that's true, but at the same time, you're testing to see which works best so that when we go fishing, we have an optimal gear.
Exactly.
So it's all in line with having desires.
So I'm directing my movie, you see. That when we get to...
You're not leaving it to chance?
No.
So that we get there and go, oh, if only we'd brought fly rods.
That's right. We did that once.
Where?
When we went to Chile looking for a hotel to do workshops out of.
We had decided we were going to focus only on our primary objective.
Which was to find a facility that we could lead seminars in.
Not realizing that we could actually do it all. Right. And that we got there was amazing fishing, and we were
without fishing rods.
And the person who was taking us around to show us all these different hotels and all of these different areas
was a fly fishing guide.
And so we borrowed the worst fly rods I've ever used before or since. And we had just this really great time. But it was really, a learning moment.
I could not cast a rod that you casted well.
I know, it was really bad.
Abu Garcia.
That's right. Probably cost about $25.
That's right.
Well, Shya, I know we're rambling and having a good time. Shall we call our first guest in?
Well, you mean we're going to increase our movie to include another?
Yes.
Okay, let's. Right. Walt, are you there?
I am here.
All right, welcome to being here. Where are you zooming in from?
I am calling from Montclair, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. I'm glad I heard you say New Jersey.
New Jersey. I got a guy.
You got a guy?
You need something, I got a guy. Thanks for having.
You're welcome. And what drew you to be on this particular episode?
I like the title.
What's
that?
What about it did you like?
I just I've been on this little kick lately of being the lead in your own movie. And it's been a couple weeks since I've been thinking about that. And there's other terms like being the hero in your own movie and being the lead in your own movie and that kind of thing. And then I saw you guys were doing this and I was like, oh man, how cool is that? So I want to talk to you guys about it.
Okay. So what about being the lead in your own movie? Would you like to talk to us about?
Well, listening to you guys when you first were, just a few minutes as an introduction, I like the idea of not leaving things to chance. Like Ariel, you made the joke like, hey, you got to bring fly rods, right? And being the director and being the lead is, to me, like every moment, this is what I'm doing. But I need to not prepare for the next moment in a way of emotionally or with like empathy, but okay, we're going to like this afternoon, I'm going to go pick Val up, my wife. She's going to get her bike taken care of because she hasn't ridden it in many years. And I came up with a plan and we worked together of the plan. And it was just like, hey, that's kind of like a movie. We got the first stage, we got stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, like a movie was set up. So it's just kind of fun to think of it that way.
Well, it's an interesting thing too, because it's paradoxical, where you leave nothing to chance and everything goes by chance. Because you could be driving down a road, like I was driving the road home today, and by chance, a ambulance was coming from the other direction. So if I timed it split second timing, I wouldn't have had the time to pull over and let it go by. Or if you happen to get caught in traffic or the weather doesn't cooperate.
The other night, we're driving home from the river and there's an oncoming car. So I dim my lights and there's a deer right in front of our vehicle.
Like very close. Now, of course, Shya is
being the great driver that I am. It was not a problem. The deer survived and I didn't hit it. But the lights from the oncoming car blinded us for a moment, so we couldn't see the deer. And then when I saw it, we stopped. But if I was driven to get home, then I might have been going faster than I was because I had a destination in mind. See, somehow what Ariel said is really important, that there's how do you put it? You have a destination, but you are not at your destination in this moment. You're moving towards that destination. So you need to be where you are en route rather than trying to get to where you think is safety or a better place.
I actually, we know you, Walt, and your job is
paradox. That's what
it is a
said.
Paradox. It's you're a manager for a whole area for U-Haul, and I know you may go out, you may get in your truck, and you're on your way to work, and you have the expectation of meeting 3 separate groups of people or going to different dealerships, when all of a sudden you're called someplace else. So one is it's both are true, where you leave nothing up to chance, and it's all up to chance. So you fill your truck with gas, you get yourself out the door on time, and then at the same time
then your life is going to dictate what shows up, even though you have plans. So how you engage with what shows up is very interesting, because if it's your movie, you engage as though it's supposed to be happening, not like you're the victim of the chain of circumstance.
I really like that, where if it's my movie, I'm up for what happens next. So give you an idea, Ariel, you made a good point with my job, because it's exactly what happened this morning. of course I plan my day out. I want to be efficient and I want to get as much work done as possible during the day. I'm going from my second to third stop. I get a phone call that somebody going down a highway close to me, the trailer disconnected from their vehicle and it went all over the road and I needed to handle it. And did I get upset? I mean, the first thing I thought it was, man, hope everybody's all right. But I could easily get upset. And I have in the past got upset like, man, now I got to go and do this. You know, I've done that. I've done that a lot.
Yeah, well, most people do that a lot. See, here's the thing. Life shows up. You don't know how it's going to show up. It shows up the way it does. And that's a perfect moment in your life, except it doesn't fit your preferences. So then you allow your emotions to take over if you're normal, and you complain to yourself. Whilst you're making the corrections, you're complaining to yourself that you have to, rather than engage in it like it's your idea and have a good time with it.
I particularly love your example of how you used to complain, because it's still close enough to you that you did a really good representation of how we all do that. You know, like, oh God, I can't.
Oh man, this throws me way off. Now I can't go and do this, and now I can't go. This is what you're doing.
So, how did it occur to you to not approach things that way, or did you just discover you weren't approaching things that way anymore?
Approaching them like
that complaint, the huffing and puffing and growling.
Did you make a decision not to huff and puff and growl, or did your life just show up that you're not doing that
anymore? Didn't upset me.
I would go to the latter on that one. I mean, it wasn't a decision. Not like I sat here and go, okay, I'm not going to get upset anymore at everything.
That's like me telling me to slow down and make the same fast cast.
Right. Same thing.
Same thing. So you can tell yourself how to be and disregard yourself and do it the same way you did the last time. Because, you know, when you say, okay, now don't get upset about this, you know, you're already upset.
Yeah, exactly. So
rather than take it as though your life is coming at you in current time, the reality is just, you know, years ago, Ariel and I used to lead seminars in Maui, Hawaii, you know, and we go to the top and early in the morning, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'd take the whole group of people, we'd make a caravan and go to the top of Haleakala volcano. And what you could see from there, because it was so high, was you could see that the earth was actually rotating into the sun rather than the sun was rising. See, what if your life, you're rotating into the moment of your life right here, right now? This is new. It all shows up newly. See, and if it goes in a way that you think it ought not, you get yourself upset with it.
So there is one thing that I still hang on to, and Val and I were talking about it today. In my job, I have a meeting once a month. Other than that, I have complete autonomy. I'm self-managed, and I work very well that way.
Yes.
But during this meeting, there's some things that go on that I don't agree with. And it upsets me for, of course, the day. And I go into the meeting upset because I'm like, I know this is going to happen. And I'm like preempt about it. And then for 2 days after, I'm upset about it. And then today, Val and I were talking about it when I got home, and I was like, why am I burning calories? Why am I so upset? There ain't nothing I can do about it. You know, and then I think about the three principles.
Actually, you could go as if you're the architect of that meeting.
You're the director of your own movie.
I bet you never get there first.
Get where?
To the meeting.
I am.
Are you there for the first person at the meeting?
Yeah, I just have a habit. I start my day super early, and my new boss starts the meeting really late. So I get in and do stuff that I can catch up with.
You just said something that we both caught.
My
I
new
saw
boss?
Ariel smile when I got it. So your new boss is wrong.
So somehow I was envisioning it was a Zoom meeting that started at X. So is it a meeting
Physical
that
meeting.
happens in person
Physical.
with?
Physical meeting, yes. We go to the corporate office once a month. We go to my corporate office here in Jersey, and we meet all day, and we go through stuff all day. And
so tell me the truth.
Even all day. It's got
That's right. Tell me the truth. Do you think this meeting is a waste of your time?
1,000%.
There you go. Because
1,000%.
as you're saying it, you don't have to say you're against it. Your attitude shows that, oh man, this is such a waste. I could handle this in 10 minutes, what they're taking a day to do.
100%.
Huh?
So
100%.
how many people are there altogether? Just curious. Your boss and how many people?
So I have 2 coworkers, so there'll be 3 of us in my position, and then my boss.
Okay.
And
well, but the corporation that you work for has this as one of their things that they do. They, we have to have these meetings once a month to make sure that everybody's doing their thing the way we, as a corporation, operate. Now, this is a podcast, so shaking your head doesn't work.
No, I didn't want to be rude and interrupt you while I just was.
You can't be rude.
I agree, Shya, and I agree, and I've resisted this, and it's been
okay. So let's talk about the first principle of instantaneous transformation. Do you remember what it is?
Oh yeah, what you resist persists
and grow stronger and dominates your life.
Okay, so going on that first principle.
Yes, sir.
When I was 20 years old, I started working at Coca-Cola.
Okay.
Right. So I entered the corporate world, and back then it was it kind of still is, but back then it was the mindset. You got in a big corporation, you put in 40 years and you get a pension and you retire. Right. So I started getting in on that, getting my feet in the ground and stuff like that. And then these meetings, I've been resisting these types of meetings forever. And
like school.
School. Yeah. I resisted school big time.
Yeah,
so
I
get it.
One of the things that I know that you love being self-governed,
managing
and out and about, but I don't think it's ever occurred to you that they may need you. You may not need those meetings, but they may need you.
You may have something that you could bring to that meeting that would have the business be revolutionized.
So, Ariel, I completely resisted what you said. and Shya, sometimes I try to bring in my experience and my knowledge, and in the past it's been tough because the organization is so big to implement something.
Yeah,
it takes forever.
Here's the thing, Walt, your being right costs you your innocence, costs you your joy and satisfaction in living. See, and
I mean, 2 days out of a month, because it takes you a day and then the day to wind down. That's a big cost to pay. That's huge. If you take a look at it.
Staying upset over anything is a waste of your life. So what you disagree with is what you get upset about.
The other thing is you have a very large personality and you're very accomplished. And I have a feeling that for you, you're just, in your mind, you're just kind of, oh, shucks, yeah, I'm a cool guy and I get a lot done, but hey. But I wouldn't be surprised if your boss and other people find themselves at least somewhat intimidated by you. And also, equally, they want to be liked by you because they perceive you as a cool dude. And then if they get a little off center trying to go for your approval, then they're not going to like you. And then they're going to be conflicted. There's going to be lots of different swirly dynamics. And part of it is you walk in defended and they automatically think you don't like them.
Oh,
See,
wow.
and the reason your meetings go long is because you're not there. You're thinking, I wish I were out of here by now. What are we wasting our time doing this stuff when we could be doing that? So that you disagree with how the movie of your life is showing up keeps you stuck in hell.
And I'm going to say something.
And I mean that because you lose your affinity. You lose your sense of joy and life. You know, you got this little infant son, and he's just this amazingly beautiful little being. And that's you, because you've got that amazing, beautiful being, not so little with you, in you, and you can lose him to an upset in an instant, the instant you disagree with how the movie is going.
So here's an example. You're bringing up my son, and when he's upset, it's funny because most of the time when he gets upset, it doesn't upset me. When he was first born, and then I got upset a lot when he got upset.
Right.
But then I got thinking, wait a minute, is he upset because I'm upset? Like, because he's like this perfect barometer, right? But then the other thing is, I came to the realization that I was getting upset because I wasn't comfortable or confident in what I'm doing.
Okay.
And since then, I have gained just this confidence that what I do, obviously there's an asterisk there, but what I do with my son, I'm confident that that's the right thing.
Yes.
So even when he gets upset, that doesn't upset me anymore. Like he gets crying and throws a fit, and obviously I make sure he's safe, that type of thing, but it doesn't get me upset.
But see, I don't think you can actually.
You're looking at your upsets in retrospect when he was young, and you're giving yourself justifications for why you're not getting upset now. Now, that may be accurate, but then again, there's a whole other possibility that you are upset and he felt you're upset and he got upset, which got you what brought you aware of how upset you already were.
I suspect that your son has more than one type of upset. One is like, oh, my belly is hurting, or sure, I'm tired. And another is dad's agitated and he picks it up, because certainly kids are a perfect barometer. So both can be true. I love that you say you're more secure in yourself now, but I have an image of you, which I think you're going to enjoy. I was Zooming with Lenore, who was babysitting your son when you came home from work, and I saw you come in the door, and he went running up to you, and you started talking to him, asking him how his day was and stuff. And of course, he's really little, but he was looking at you like, Daddy's home. And that look, I guarantee you don't give that look to your boss.
No.
Not that you should, but I'm just going to a really, really wild.
She's giving you an exaggerated example so you see it.
You're not excited to be in the room with him to see what he might have to offer. You don't have that heart-opening compassion for the guy. Even if you got the list.
Even if you have that, your enthusiasm and excitement for the things that you prefer in life is pretty good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you prefer something, then you get very enthusiastic and excited about it. Anything you don't prefer, you resist like hell. Agreed?
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, life does not show up the way you want. It shows up the way it does. A lot of times you don't agree with it. Now, is it worth it for you to become a D movie when things don't show up the way you want?
No way. No, it's not worth it.
But you've been allowing that mechanical nature of getting upset and disagreeing
And being right.
To run your life in those moments that things don't show up the way you expect. I made a cast today, and there's the shooting head, and then there's a running line, and the running line is made out of monofilament, and my running line became a rat's nest. Okay, it all got tangled, and I could either upset myself with it,
yank on it, make it worse,
try to get it apart, or slow down and just play with it until it teases itself out and opens up and untangles, which is eventually what I did. But it took quite a while. Complaining in that time would not make it any easier to unravel the mess. But you see, you're complaining about the circumstances when they show up in ways that you do not prefer, only keeps it getting worse. If you surrender, which is have it be like it's your idea, rather than be the victim of those circumstances, then life becomes pretty miraculous. And Walt, my friend, you deserve that. You deserve a miraculous life. The only thing that gets in your way is the mechanical disagreements that you have when it shows up differently.
And I love that.
About listening, by the way.
What's that?
We should have talked about listening, which isn't about agreeing or disagreeing. It's about letting it come in.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But the thing is, like, the mechanical thing that really strikes home, because through this conversation, I got thinking about how much I've resisted these types of meetings in the quote unquote corporate world, because when I had my own business, I never minded going to a meeting. One, I was running them, and two, they in other meetings, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the meetings. I enjoyed the content.
But you're operating as if these meetings aren't your idea.
As if that's
100%.
Not the way your life is showing up in this moment.
100%.
I want to go back to you greeting your son for a minute, because when you started talking to him about his day and whatnot, I know he didn't understand all the words. He was too young. He certainly understood the intent and that you were giving him your full attention. And I really want to go back to, you underestimate that you're like the cool kids in the cafeteria. They want to be your friend. They come into a meeting, and if you aren't excited to see them, not excited, maybe happy to see them or inclusive of them, they're going to feel insecure, and the meeting's going to take for frickin' ever.
So you're producing. You're not only the director, you're the producer. You're producing what you say you don't want by resisting what's showing up rather than engaging in it like it's your idea.
I love that you saw that when you had your own business, you loved meetings. You could start treating this as your own business and see what happens.
Yeah, and the thing is, I believe that my success through Coca-Cola and U-Haul, like using U-Haul for an example, I don't work for U-Haul. I work for myself, and U-Haul is just a supplier. That's like my mental attitude. So when I make decisions, I make that decision being that's my money, which in my current position, technically it is, because inside U-Haul, that's my business. My rig is my business. I balance a P&L sheet. The more money that the route can make, the more money I make. So it's, that's why I enjoy it so much, because of the autonomy and the, I guess, control. I guess maybe that's
our European listeners, P&L, profit and loss sheet.
Yeah, profit and loss.
But,
right.
I know that when you go and visit the guys who rent out at the different locations, because we've spoken, you are attentive to make sure they feel well about themselves. They can ask their questions. They feel safe around you.
It's like you manage them, but maybe you should start managing up. manage your managers so they feel well and taken care of and thought about well. And then they'll behave better.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Because,
So then if you extrapolate out, or you grow from this, U-Haul is my business, then managing your manager is your business too. It's like, if you think the upper echelon, if you hold them as other, you'll always be miserable.
So you, like the way I treat we call them dealers, right? Where I go, my locations are called dealers. And when I go see my dealers, like you said, Ariel, that's the way I treat them. I treat them with respect and try to get them, that they feel comfortable. So what you're saying is that's the way I should treat the management, the same way I treat them.
Yes, but you see, you have another thing going, and that is you resist the hierarchy of management. You don't like it. These people have control over you. Apparently you are a control. See, you want to be in control. You want to run your life. But you make the mistake of thinking that you aren't already running it when the meeting takes place and you don't like it.
And your boss walks in 20 minutes late.
And
that was 20 minutes for you to handle something that was on your plate anyway, but you didn't know you were going to have the opportunity to do.
And your complaining doesn't make anything complete itself. It just keeps everything in a state of turmoil, which is what you complain these meetings are about.
Behind you have a
poster,
piece of artwork that you have framed, and it's a guy taking a corner on a motorcycle so that the motorcycle is leaning far enough. He's brushing the ground with his hand, and at the top of it says, "Happiness isn't around the corner." And the bottom says, "Happiness is the corner." I think for a little while, just for fun, you should cover that last word and just say, "Happiness isn't around the corner. Happiness is the meeting."
Yeah, that is true. Happiness. Yeah. I don't know if, because I enjoy my life, and I enjoy my job, and obviously I love my family and all that. And then it just, maybe I'm getting up and over about the meetings and making it such a big deal because it's not what I enjoy.
Well, right? That's an interesting rationale, but see, anything you engage in, you'll enjoy if you engage in it like it's your idea. You ever wash dishes like it's your idea?
Oh, well, you had me until it's your idea. I do wash dishes all the time, but not all the time. It's not my idea.
See, I got this thing where I wash dishes like it's my idea. So,
and the thing too, it doesn't have to be your starting place. The idea of, you could go and say, "Oh God, I wish Val would have done this," or maybe I can hire Lenore, get her over, do my dish. And somebody, anybody but me. That can be your initial thing. And then you can click yourself into the position of doing them like they're your idea, like they were handpicked and left for you by you.
I do not always start loving the idea that there's a bunch of dishes that I need to wash. But once I start, I give up the complaint that I have to, and I jump into it as though it's my idea.
And that's the challenge for you. You are absolutely 100% a very skilled person at being stubborn and holding your position.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can't disagree with you on that.
I know you can.
Well, you could if you really wanted to.
It would prove her point. If I sat here and held my position, then it would prove her point, right?
Yes.
But no, so going back to what you said, that the meeting takes forever because I resist it.
Sure.
Right? Sure. And there's something that I've been wanting to tell you guys for a while, that where I use the 3 principles, and I use it I can't tell you in a 8-hour period I love to play poker. I'm going to go play cards tonight. And when I'm playing cards, 12, 15 hours could go by. I won't eat or drink or go to the bathroom because I'm so involved because I enjoy it. Right. So
well, not only do you enjoy it, you enjoy winning.
Actually, I enjoy the process.
Well,
I enjoy.
But if you lost,
every time you went and played poker,
you wouldn't enjoy it so much.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
You are a very competitive dude,
Hell
and
yeah.
you want to win.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So,
you have your own answer, actually. If you have times where you're so fully engaged in things that time goes by and you don't notice it, and you don't even find yourself hungry, and you're not even having to go pee, etc., then that is a possibility for you everywhere in your life. And if you're not experiencing
including
it,
the meeting that you have once a month.
And if you're not experiencing it there, then it's like an opportunity to see how you are approaching that moment, because there's something.
See, the moment, the circumstance of the moment is not what's causing your upset. You are, and you're blaming it on the circumstance.
And it's compounded by being right over time.
Yeah.
You probably put this together when you were 6 or 8 and you thought, oh, why do I have to be in school? This is such bull.
Yeah, I was not challenged in school at all. I wanted this to be over and done with. And, I'm in science class and it's like, how long we got to be in here? 30 minutes. How long's it been? 4 minutes. Seems like an hour, right? And that's the same attitude I have with these meetings.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Grow up.
Yeah. I got to do that.
You don't have to be in 4th grade anymore.
No. But the 3 principles, though, I in a short period of time playing cards, I'll use the 3 principles countless times, and I won't realize that I'm doing it until there's, like, in cards, there's very long down periods to where you can't do anything. You're just sitting there waiting for you to do something, like your cards aren't good, right? And the resistance grows stronger than that. If you let it, if you're resisting it, then you make mistakes. So it's like, I can't resist it, but then you sit there and go, I can't resist it. And of course that's what you're doing. And then can't be.
Your cards can't be different than the ones they are. You got what you
The
did.
people who you're playing
Right.
with can't be different than they are.
Correct. Right. Right.
But whether you choose to have it be the way it is, that's up to you.
And if you can do it at poker, you can do it at work.
That's
And
right.
that's why I wanted to kind of bring it around full circle, because it's been bouncing around in my dome that to think of it that way. But yeah. So,
well, look.
And now I'd forget all of this conversation.
That's right.
Because if you're now going to apply any part of this, it's very similar to Shya telling himself to slow down. If you forget it,
then you'll slow down naturally.
Will have already happened, and you may be surprised how you approach the next meeting.
That's awesome. That's good stuff, man. That is good.
It is.
stuff.
Hey, this was lively and fun.
Yes, it was.
We appreciate you being with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure was mine. Is that how that goes? Yeah, pleasure was mine.
It was all our.
That's it. Good time all the way around.
Yes, sir.
All righty then. Drum roll, please. You sound like our cat. It's time for our listener feedback spotlight while Shya is here purring with me. We get to hear from one of our listeners
about how transformation has impacted their lives. And if you'd like to learn more or register for any of our upcoming courses, visit transformationmadeeasy.com.
Yeah.
And when I say easy, it's like the fire swamp.
Yeah, join us.
If you know your way through it, it's easy. If you have a good guide, it's easy. If you don't, well, there's rodents of unusual size. There's lightning sand.
all
What's the other
those.
thing?
I don't remember.
Oh, and the fire spurts.
There you
Right.
go.
There you go.
We're great
Transformation made easy.
This is Andy in Brooklyn, and through attending seminars with Ariel and Shya, I have been able to use transformation to be able to sit across from an actor like Tom Hanks and not feel less, but feel in partnership with him and them. And that is a true gift.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Ariel and Shya's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
This weekend is our Creativity and Intuition Seminar. It's virtual via Zoom. It's going to be amazing. It's not a surprise that I could actually picture Walt's day. It wasn't that I was going from history. I got a picture of having 1, 2, 3 things set up and then something coming in to disturb it. Having your ability to know things and creatively work with them is such an amazing gift. You're invited. In September,
we're doing a course called Intimacy. That's September 17th and 18th.
Also virtual. Is that what you were going to say?
Absolutely what I was going to say. Did we say you finished my sentences?
And you finish mine? No,
Never.
We do though.
We do.
All right. So October, Being in Nature. It is our first in-person course in a year and a half. And
it's a residential retreat at a camp
in New Jersey, Camp Tecumseh, October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Make your plans, get your tickets if you're coming from far away, and come. It's going to be amazing to be all together in person again. So you're invited. And last but not least on this particular little shout out thing, shout out to Juta. It was her idea, this particular theme. So thanks, Juta. We're having fun with it.
Yes, we are.
Let's take Anina.
Yes, let's take Anina.
Hi, Anina. Welcome to being here. And where are you zooming in from?
Hello. I'm zooming in from Thun, Switzerland.
Ah, so nice to hear your voice.
Thank you. So nice to hear your voices and to see you as we do this on Zoom.
Yes.
I was so much enjoying the movie that Walt created together with you.
Yes.
And when I heard the topic of today's Being Here episode, I thought to myself, well, it's so amazing and somehow paradoxical that I am the director of my movie, the producer of the movie, but also sometimes the audience. You know,
and you're the star.
And the star.
And the star at the same time. So I don't have really a question, but I found this so amazing.
You know, as you're speaking, Anina, I'm flashing through images of, you know, Anina is a star, and it's like Betty Davis or Reese Witherspoon. I've got a couple ladies in different eras. You watch their early movies, and then you watch their later movies. And in the early movie of
Anina,
she was acting out my father doesn't love me and I don't love my father. And a lot of your life was pretty pivotal around being misunderstood, as most of ours were when we were younger. And we just were at our grandson's 8th grade graduation. There was a lot of, oh, you don't understand me going on in that age range. The 13, 14-year-old, they're really sure that they're unique and
unrecognized,
not understood. That's kind of that age range. And it's so lovely to see this movie star.
Yeah. And it's so lovely to feel it and to be it. And yeah, particularly what happened with my father. And speaking of movies, when I got to know you in 2007, and in 2009 I first made it to New York for a seminar with you, and there you did for your videos on demand series, you did videos, and I was complaining about my dad, and you Ariel, you gave me an assignment to be aware, or to be awake to all the ways I've used, and I was still using at the time, to attract attention, and how I get attention. And you told me then that it would be a very interesting movie. And up to the present day, I catch myself doing episodes of this movie. Sometimes an old mechanical thing comes up when I then see, now I was that was only to get attention. And so, yeah.
My only concern, Anina, is it sounds a little bit like you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
You're not just enjoying and
like,
noticing.
Hey, I want some attention now. You're not just like noticing that sometimes you want attention.
Yeah.
It's a project. I think that assignment from 2007 is all long over.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll take it off.
Good, because you're not the person you were in 2007.
Yeah. Of course, sometimes all of us are insecure, or might do something to get attention. But the thing that's been so striking for me about you, particularly during the time where people, my experience, got COVID in waves, like the Europeans sometimes got it at one time, and the people in the New York area, for instance, got it at a different time. And after you had gone through it, you were just so sweet to people who got it and were frightened, and you would talk to them about putting your cat on your chest and how the vibration of purring was so good for you.
I can't do that with my cat.
She wouldn't lay on our chest.
She wouldn't lay on our chest.
She's not her favorite spot.
No,
but it was still very sweet.
They do it sometimes, or nearly every day, when I'm healthy too. But then after 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maximally 5 minutes, they get off. But when I had COVID the first time, they would stay on me for 30 minutes at the time, and then they would swap. That was so, and it really, it was so healing.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That they knew that you needed them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they that was really, I caught it in Germany, and I was already ill when I got home. And the moment I came into the door, the way they looked at me, they checked it immediately that I was ill. And it was like they were having an emergency briefing what to do with me now. So it was really amazing.
That's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
how fun is that? And your cats are gorgeous too. Of course, I'm rather partial to pets altogether, but I really love your cats. They're
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's they have been missing in my life without me knowing.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't.
They are such a, well, probably they haven't been missing till they came, but they are such an addition to my life.
So you're saying your life was fine, and then suddenly when they came, it's a level of wealth you didn't expect.
Yeah, a whole new dimension.
Yes.
Yeah, to my being.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
Yeah, so going back to movies, it's like a scene that I hadn't planned for, that the movie made out of itself. It just came.
You know, that's one of the beauties of the random nature of life. Life shows up not as you expect, but as it does.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can start appreciating how it shows up rather than wanting what you think you should have, then life becomes satisfying in all arenas.
You know, I think it'd be very easy as a listener to go, oh, I wish I was more like Walt. And then you come on and you're talking about your relationship with your cats.
I wish I had a cat like you do.
You got this great voice, and people are like, oh, I wish I was more like Anina. And one of the things that's fun is as you discover you, that you are the star in your own movie. And sometimes you're writing yourself as a tragic figure. And other times you're, living your life.
Yes. Yes, it's such a gift to have transformation in my life as a possibility to, or as the license to enjoy my life however it's currently showing up. That's the big gift.
Right.
Yes,
so even
it is.
when you were sick, your body was sick and you still have permission to enjoy being you where you were, even with all those uncomfortable
body sensations.
Yes. Yes, that was really, that was a big difference. Because when I had COVID the first time, I felt a little bit, or I was reminded of when as a child I had the measles, for instance, or some other of those childhood infections. When, particularly because of that feeling tired, and then the thoughts come up, now I should be thinking about having patience again, about going back to work, but just being so tired, and to actually allow myself to feel as I am, not as I should be feeling. That's such a blessing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Really a treat.
Yeah, I can so feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you're enjoying this podcast, I know we frequently say leave a review on your favorite podcast app. You can do that. And we appreciate it when you do. It helps people find it. But I also find that when you take the episodes that touch you and you realize that there are people in your life who would be touched by them as well, and you share the link with them, I think that's such a gift. So if there's somebody in your life who would have loved this episode, share it with them. They deserve the possibility of transformation and to have been graced by Walt and Anina and the two of us today. It was fun. And,
yes, it was.
And you as a listener, make a difference in this show. We appreciate you. And next week's episode,
It's called Unraveling Upsets.
don't have to get upset thinking about it. We'll handle it.
We'll
all next
unravel
week.
it next week.
Yeah, so we'll be back.
Yeah, so come on back.
Yeah, why not?
And don't miss
Being
being
here.
here.